Raghunath, are you ready for this?
What?
The wisdom of the sages trainings that are going on.
Where?
At the Eco Village, the Govardhan Eco Village in India.
Why?
To totally transform your life spiritually.
Who?
You, me, Radha Swami's going to be there. Other great teachers are going to be there. Lots of cool people.
How?
You go to wisdomofthesages.com/events. You find all the information there.
Haribo.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from beautiful Alachua, Florida. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center, New York, Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the show. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Our special Thanksgiving special featuring Raghunath singing and dancing.
That is not.
How can we make this more into a show? Except
you don't
if
need
I was
to
sing. Well, I do sing. I just don't dance. I dance a little bit on the show. When me and Kaustubha, for those who don't know, Mary, you may not know this, but our generation of TV entertainment included
Variety
family
shows.
hours. There was Donnie and Marie Osmond. There were the Osmond family. There were the Brady kids grown up doing various types of dancing and singing. There was
Hee Haw.
Hee Haw. There was Carol Burnett. There was Sonny and Cher. This is how we grew up. You sit around the TV. They do skits. They make you laugh. They dance. They sing songs. They do.
Why are you talking about
synchronized swimming, Mara? Do you remember that? There was synchronized swimming, I think, for the Brady kids.
Okay, Raghunath, let's pull it in here now.
I'm just saying that. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I don't know how we got
There
talking about that.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, here it comes. I love the Carol Burnett show. Okay. Our message board. Hey, we're doing this live on Zoom every morning. You want to join us live? It's a little fun. We have a message board. We look at each other. We send each other private messages. We stare at each other's apartments. We do some inner critique. We were like, why did they choose that lamp? You know, if you'd like to join us live, you can. You go to wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com and write Mara and say, hey, give me the secret codes. I want to get on this. I want to talk to you guys. I want to join that little party. That's what you do. And if you like what we're doing, you get into it, you really appreciate what we do, you start chanting one round of japa every day. That's a type of meditation you do every day. You really like doing that, then you go, you know what? I want to support these guys, like what they're doing. I want to join their Patreon community. Then you enter into a whole secret society. And in that secret society—
It's not a secret society.
It's incredibly secret. You have to come in disguise. And from there, you get a various treasure trove of videos. And, right now they're doing astrology with Radhikesh. They do yoga
We're going to build that
classes.
out, by the way, too.
We're going to
Coming
build
next
that
year,
out
we're
huge.
Build
It's
it up
going to be
big
like
time.
a haunted house.
No, it's not going to be at all like a haunted house.
It's not going to be like a haunted
It's
house.
not a secret society.
A room
There's nothing
with
dark about it
chambers,
at all.
Various chambers and basements and caves. Lots of secret things.
This is Thanksgiving. It's not Halloween right now. What's going on?
I like secret passages. I love disguises. I like treasures. Let me live that.
Okay. Why don't we live a little Srimad Bhagavatam? But before we do that, why don't we hear some announcements from Mary?
Hey, how about Raghunath? How was your ride down to Florida? I drove
we'll get
20
there.
hours
Let's
to Florida.
let's get the announcements out of the way. Mara, please.
All right. Thank you, Kaustubha. We have a Bhakti Recovery Group meeting at noon today. Tomorrow for our Patreon members, Josh Kane is offering an asana class at 10:30 a.m.
He's good, Josh Kane.
He is. He's great. And then we have our 900th episode coming up. So if people want to write in about how listening to Bhagavatam every day has affected them, or they can join us on Zoom and we'll unmute them and they can share their story.
You know, it's important to have the recovery meetings on these holidays too, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah, you know why? Because holidays trigger. They set up, a lot of times we've had a lot of people didn't have the Waltons or Eight is Enough.
Why? Raghunath? Why?
I'm just bringing it back to what we understand as family.
Okay.
You know, we tend to think of it as like this warm, charming, loving family. A lot of times we had issues with a crazy parent, crazy uncle, crazy kids. It was crazy. So that brings up a lot of like some type of trauma on holidays. Sometimes they have no family.
Or people are just lonely. Right.
It is. That's why we're going to have the Wisdom of the Sages loneliness retreat. If you're feeling lonely, we're going to get
Lonely
together.
Hearts Club.
Yeah, the Lonely Hearts Club. It's okay to be lonely. You know,
We'll be lonely together.
be lonely together. You know what? I always used to feel bad, like during like in the punks. It went from punk scene to the temple scene, because it'd always be like, yeah, we're having in the punk scene. I'd be like, oh, like there's a show on Christmas. I was like, these poor punks have no families on Christmas. I'd always feel bad for them. Like, I can't believe they're going to go to a punk show on Christmas. And then when I went to the temple, I was like, oh, they have no families to go to on Christmas either. I'd always leave the temple and go to my family's house on Christmas.
Okay.
Did you?
No.
You staged for the Hare Krishna Christmas party?
That's right.
Oh, you're sweet.
And Thanksgiving and all that.
You're sweet, or I'm sweet. And Thanksgiving with the devotees. Now it's like, I think we have more fun on these holidays.
Okay.
We're making this a tradition. We're going to come to Florida every year.
Good. What you were just saying before the show started is maybe we should do like a retreat, a Thanksgiving retreat, because there's this whole, it's like a multi-day festival going on there, right? Like every night people get together for like awesome kirtan.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes at different
So-
devotees' homes and things like that.
So we could build it in together where we could have like, maybe like Thanksgiving, you get together the night before, go through the whole weekend. We could, have an incredible Thanksgiving feast together. We could have classes and courses in the evening, take part in the kirtans that are going on. That
Yeah,
could be
like call up the individuals' homes and say, hey, I got 40 people coming over tonight. Is that okay?
It's happening in people's homes?
I think it was last year. This year, I think it's happening at the temple.
Okay, well, there you go.
I'm not really that super clued in. I just got some sweet invites.
Okay. I think that would be a great festival.
You know what we did last night? We went to Namamrita's house.
Wonderful.
Namamrita's house and his lovely wife and his lovely daughter. And he's a pilot for Southwest Airlines, and he has a flying machine. I kid, and true, it's true. It's a flying machine. I'm gonna post it. It's one of these. It's one of those giant propellers on like a bicycle thing, and it flies.
Really?
And yeah, and he flies
Stay
it.
away from that, Raghunath.
No, Tarun.
Please stay away.
Tarun's going up, I think, today.
All right.
It's a 2-seater.
All right, let's reel this in, Raghunath. You're running wild today. Did you want to talk about Thanksgiving and how you feel about it?
Yeah, I
Do
do.
you
I
wanna
want to ask
open up
Mara
with
what
it?
you're thankful for, Mara.
Okay.
Me, what I'm thankful for?
Yeah, you. Do you have anything you're thankful for in your life?
I have a lot to be thankful for. I'm thankful for like my friends and family, and also the whole like Super Soul family, the whole Wisdom of the Sages family. I'm grateful for my spiritual path, for my teachers on that path, including you guys both.
To the people of Columbia County who have year after year rate you as the #1
Chef.
vegan caterer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sound like you're immersed in a bucket of gratitude.
I have a lot to be grateful for.
Do you have a catering gig going on today?
No, I don't.
All right.
You're just gonna, oh, Mara, you've got nothing to do on Thanksgiving?
I'm gonna
Kid's
go visit my
family,
friends.
Papa Tony.
Oh.
the whole thing.
Pace back and forth, holding your whipper in your hands in your kitchen. Give me
All
a
right,
big
brother.
hug if you were here right now, Mara.
Okay, Raghunath, what are you thankful for this Thanksgiving?
Well, I am thankful. The Wisdom of Sages family thing, even though it's really become sort of like a family. I mean,
No
reach
doubt.
out to people, and people are like really connected with each other on deeper levels. Namamrita is a sage group leader, and so we become
he?
closer.
He's
No,
not.
he's
No.
not. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask
Okay.
him. But he
He could be.
he leads a Bhakti recovery group live down
That's
here.
great.
And I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Is it anonymous? Whatever, I said it. But anyway, he does that. And the Bhakti recovery group is such a great family, a great family within itself. It's we're upcycling families. We're making them functional again, and that's what I love.
Great.
A lot of people don't have such functional families. We're related by blood, but sometimes even our own blood brothers, we're like, who are these people? How am I related to them? How am I related to them? And, this is sort of like we're relating on a higher vibe. I say it's okay to recreate your family. If the family didn't work the first time, hey, try a second time, but on higher principles.
Okay.
What do you think?
I agree.
And now Kastuba, on the other hand, he is in the center of old school 1.0 Thanksgiving, because you're on the Upper West Side. This is where they actually have triggering
What?
Thanksgiving Day parade.
It triggers you?
Triggers. I don't know. I'm just joking. Could trigger people.
Yeah, it's all around me. It's going on everywhere. It's like it's half a block from where I live.
Stick your head out the window and see the parade. The floats.
Yeah, it hasn't started yet, but you can tell there's a lot of action going on out there. Yesterday
Really,
there's a lot of action.
Really exciting. I took my kids.
You would be excited if you were my partner.
I loved it. I took my kids when they were little. I stuck my head out the window. It was great. I know I walked around, saw the floats the night before.
Oh, you did that, huh?
It's a real wonderful celebration.
So it's the most wonderful time of the year.
But that being said,
Yeah.
let's add the Bhagavatam to our gratitude. You know what? So, and if you don't like a lot of people don't like Thanksgiving. They say it's very, it was built on.
I told you not to go here, Raghunath.
Told us not to go there. Well, I'm just going to say, I'm not going there. I'm saying if you don't like it, upcycle the holiday. We still have the day off. Let's appreciate things. Let's appreciate people. And let's spread some gratitude around. Okay. The world needs the world's in a gratitude and appreciation deficit.
All right.
We always say, change your expectations into appreciations.
Okay.
So instead of being angry at the world for what it's not, be a little grateful for what we have. How about that?
All right.
All right. And I'm grateful. I'm going to give a gratitude to Prabhupada, our guru's guru, who decided in the, it's older years of your life, and you think, you know what? I want to take it easy. Even I'm thinking like that. I got to take it easy. But no, he was like, I'm going to turn it up. I'm going to turn it up. I'm going to dial in my Sanskrit translation practice and my English practice, because they weren't the norm. People don't walk around speaking Sanskrit. I'm going to dial that up. I'm going to start translating books that have never really been translated by devotees before, maybe some academia. And I'm going to start disseminating transcendental knowledge to a blind culture who's blind to spirituality and really digging their heels into materialism. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to get on a boat, and okay, there's no boat. I'll get on a cargo ship, and I'm going to take a little suitcase of books, and I'm going to head out to New York City, and I'm going to spread the gospel of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And I've got some gratitude for that, because without that, you know what I'd be doing right now?
Eating a turkey, maybe.
Dead. I'd be dead, Kastuba.
Okay. Right.
I'd probably be dead. No, I'd be doing something ridiculous. That's for sure. Yeah. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the teachers of our teachers, the teachers of our teachers of our teachers. It goes back. How can we have not anything but gratitude in this world?
You didn't ask me what I'm grateful for, Raghunath.
Oh yeah, I just asked you about the Thanksgiving parade.
But yeah, you're getting towards. I also want to say that I'm very grateful to the whole Wisdom of the Sages family, to all the listeners, to the others, to the Zoomers and everyone. It's such a blessing in our life that Raghunath and I kind of have our career is kind of like speaking about Bhakti. That's just kind of what we have been doing for a long time.
Right.
And the fact that there's anybody interested in listening to it,
yeah,
and interesting.
Because would just be doing this with each other on Zoom, talking back and forth,
coming back day after day. Here. It means a lot. What to speak of, people that support us, our Patreon, people that support us on Patreon, that really makes it possible for us to make it fully our life. That's I'm very sincerely grateful for all that. But I also am very grateful where where you were going, Raghunath, which is to most people would sound delusional, I think. But, when you've been practicing Bhakti for 30, 5 years or so, and reading these books on the daily basis, and seeing the world through the lens of it, it's kind of like everything just starts to go click, 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 click. You
Right.
kind of like, I understand the whole thing now. Now, that doesn't mean that like I'm not still very much a prisoner of my own mind, right? That
Oh,
my
you
mind,
are.
I know I am,
You are.
but at least I
can help
know
you. I
it,
can help
you know. But at least I know it, and I can see how it works, you know, and I feel almost like you're saying the you know, we're grateful to the teachers of our teachers of our teachers. You know, there's this whole lineage, and you can kind of feel the 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 power of that lineage pulling you forward, you know, that even though you're still like, even though you're still kind of like this even though I am still very much like this weakling in terms of like conquering my mind,
Yeah.
but I can recognize exactly what the mind's doing, and I can feel like this lineage pulling me step by step, you know, towards you know, towards like some kind of ultimate freedom.
It's a transcendental riptide, sort of like dragging you out to the spiritual ocean.
It's true.
Right?
And when you think about that, when you think about it from that zoomed out perspective, you feel a sense of gratitude. You know, that I don't know how
Yeah.
many lifetimes I've been completely blind. You know, there's so many species of life and so many different circumstances, and somehow I'm in that riptide. You
So
know,
you look at it from a transcendental picture. There's so many species. I've been a bug. I've been a beetle. I've been a geranium. I don't look at it like that. I look at it in this life. In this life, I've had
both
so
are
many
there.
crazy sub identities,
Sure.
and I've been like completely running into walls. But I appreciate where you're going with that. You just have a bigger vision than me.
Well, you have it too, but I'm just saying, you know, that's one way to think. Like, you know, sometimes I lie down to go to sleep, and then I think on that zoomed out level, right?
You do.
Do
You think of the species you were in.
well, I think, you know, there's different zoom outs, right? There's species, that's one of them. There's the time zoom out. There's the space zoom out. Like you put yourself like it you know, like in terms of the cosmos,
You
right?
know what? I get the kids zoom out.
Okay.
No, you're serious, because right now I'm like, my kids, my kids, my kids. It's just like, it's what when you have little kids, you're in the kids zoom in.
That's a zoom in, yeah.
Like, what are they doing for school? What are their report cards? Everything is kid, 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 But then there comes a time where those kids just like, I know, because I was the kid at one point. And then all of a sudden it's like, you don't see the kids that much, and they're doing their own thing, and they got their own lives. They're in love with other people. You're not, your stock has dropped in their eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they have their own life, and you're just like, no kids. And then it's like, who am I? And so that's going to come also right now in there's going to be a time when the kids are doing their own thing. They got their own kids. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.
You know that song is that's going to be your song.
That's
someday?
a sad song, Gastuba. But the idea is that, you got to zoom out, because we start thinking that even the kids who are so precious to us, that they're also going to go on their way. If I don't cultivate my self identity now and keep that as a focus of my life, then even this very important stuff of being a parent, stuff like that, even that stuff's going to go away.
All right.
Just
So zoom out.
Zoom out.
Zoom out and be thankful.
And freak out.
Is thankful really a word, or is it grateful?
Thankful is a word.
Zoom out and thank.
Thankful is a word.
Okay.
And so is freak out. All right.
It's 2 words, right?
Oh, freaked out.
Mara, where are? Let's chant our mantras right back to you.
People don't even
really
know that
losing
song.
it.
That is like fine music from the past. Okay. By the way, everyone who's listening on Wisdom of the Sage right now on Zoom, write 3 things you're thankful for on the board right now, please. Enlighten us. Okay. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam madirayat. Before we start the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, whose praise with transcendental songs will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Midatamnena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. I am great. I'm going to say this again. I am grateful for.
You almost did. You almost went right into it. You almost did it.
You know, I'm grateful for this community is because
yeah,
I spent years on the yoga teaching hustle, like just like traveling every weekend. Like,
well, you're still doing that, Rugg. I don't know if you noticed.
no, I don't do it as much. No,
I don't know.
Like
yeah, you just came
my
back
whole
from
schedule
India.
next year. Just doing bigger things. But I used to just teach workshops all
Yeah,
weekend long, all over the world. And the problem was I'd teach, I'd share Bhakti information with people. People would get inspired. Then I'd go away and it was gone. But the podcast allows me to say, hey, if you like what we're talking about, check out our podcast. I mean, that's how I know people like Martine, Catherine A. Some of you guys joined from a yoga class, you know, that you went. But I could like usher people towards the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, and I had not. So it was sort of like shooting a lot of blanks. You're giving that information. It doesn't stay with people.
We're following up now. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be traveling to Pittsburgh. I'm going to be doing a program.
Oh,
there.
you are, Mr. Costuba.
That's right.
Please tell me.
December 9th, I'll be with Zeb at the Yoga Factory in Pittsburgh.
It seems like you and Zeb are conspiring against me.
Exactly what we're doing. And,
Okay.
yeah, so if you go to my
me and
Instagram,
Mara are doing our own thing at the neighboring studio in Pittsburgh.
Very good. But if you want to, I'd love to meet anyone out there. And you can go to the Yoga Factory website, events, yoga. I think it's yogafactory.com/events, or you can go to my Instagram or Facebook pages and find information there.
All right. That's great, Costuba. It takes a lot to kick Costuba out the door, too. Brings his rocking chair with him. We can rock it.
Okay, let's read Bhagavatam, Raghunath.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. Again.
We already chanted the mantras.
We already did that.
Yeah.
All right, Mara, where are we? Now we go to Mara.
Reading from Canto 4, Chapter 29, Text 38.
Text 38.
What an entertaining little intro we had this morning.
Read the verse.
Okay. Hold on a second.
This is Narada speaking to King Prachini Barhishat. He's shot down the idea that, you know, you're going to find happiness in the world by constantly making material adjustments. It's just more or less like moving the burden of a heavy weight from one shoulder to the other. There's got to be an alternative. What is that alternative, Raghunath? Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga. Flying small planes. What verse is it? 28?
38.
30. Okay. Okay. We didn't talk about my drive down, but we're going to pass on that.
Yeah.
A living entity is exactly like a dog.
Hold on, where are you?
Where are you?
Where'd that come from?
Wait a second. Were you in the one?
Chapter 29.
Chapter 29, text 30.
38.
Oh. All right. Okay, sorry.
Living entity exactly like a dog.
Oh, best of kings, one who
There
is
you go.
faithful, who is always hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always engaged in the culture of Krishna consciousness and in hearing of the Lord's activities, very soon becomes eligible to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. That's good. This isn't just like, I see God in a rainbow. You can actually see Krishna face to face. It's real.
Mm.
You think of that?
Yeah, so now he's talking about the culture, how bhakti is practiced. He's getting right to the very heart of it. Hearing the glories of this, hearing Bhagavatam, contemplating it, remembering it, speaking about it.
It draws the living entity in.
Simple, but very
We've all been
effective.
drawn in.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Something.
My dear king, in the place where the pure devotees live,
Okay,
following
here we
the
go.
rules.
Hold it. You went there, and you've just gone to Alachua, right? You go
Yeah.
into the place where the devotees live,
Yeah.
and then what do they do there?
Following the rules and regulations, and thus purely conscious and engaged with great eagerness in hearing and chanting the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In that place, if one gets a chance to hear their constant flow of nectar, which is exactly like the waves of a river, one will forget the necessities of life, namely hunger and thirst, and become immune to all kinds of fear, lamentation, and illusion. You know, I have a real life situation of this. You
Tell
know,
me.
I was driving down here yesterday, and I called.
Oh, you had to get to it. Okay.
I was calling. I called
Found a way to.
Henry on the
Didn't take
phone.
you long to work that in.
Listen. It's a good story.
No,
It's
I
got
want to
nothing
hear. I
do.
do want to hear. I'm just kidding.
And
So you're driving down. You call up.
driving
Henry.
down, I called Henry. We're having some Hari Kata on the phone. And Henry said, do you remember on a John Mastami, it was midnight. I was fasting the entire day and I was ready to eat. And right when I was about to eat, I grabbed him and said, what are you doing, Henry? You can't eat now. It's time to serve the devotees. And I made him serve it. And he was like, he was torn between I want to feed my mouth and I want to serve the devotees. Because we know in the back of our mind, our intelligence says, important to serve. We get our pleasure from service. But I've been fasting all day and now it's midnight. We're ready to break the feast. And then he said, and I remember I just surrendered and I served and it was the best thing I ever did. Best choice. Thank you.
We need those experiences to learn these lessons that we're hearing every day, but we're hearing them. We're saying, yeah, that sounds nice, but it's got to come to the level right deep in the heart. We get it. Right.
Right.
And those experiences add to that. Every experience that we have that's like that is like we're one step closer to realizing it.
It's the highest thing we can do. And that's why sometimes people's time in the ashram, when it's just like selfless service, even the people who do our ashram week at Super Soul, that selfless service we have, it digs deep into the consciousness and stays there. Like, I was living so simple. I was living with nothing. I was up early. I went to bed early. I had, it was eating. It wasn't at a fine restaurant. I was just like eating community. We were sitting on the floor and it was like nectar. It was the highest thing. It was the highest taste I ever had. Being part of something bigger and just rendering service and in that mood of how can I be of service? It's the highest feeling.
You know what I'm excited about, Raghunath?
What?
That we're making the shift this year. Right at the
you hear this, Mara? We're shifting.
We're making a shift because they're so kind there and they're so thoughtful there at the Govardhan Eco Village, and they want to make the whole thing as comfortable and as and so they provide like this for the meals. It's like this big buffet,
big beautiful buffet,
and you line up and then you sit down at these tables and eat. But we said, you know what? We want to bring it back. We want to go back to the original culture. They're doing that for us to make us comfortable, but you know what? We want to go back, and we're going to get the meals made by the Ayurvedic team, so it's just like it's healthy. Simpler but very healthy and delicious food, right? And then we're going to sit down on the ground, and Raghunath and I are going to personally,
and Mara,
and others can, day by day, people can volunteer, but we're going to go and serve people, do the original culture, right? That
we're going to serve out. Culture. They sit on the floor, serve out style.
Yeah. It creates such a nice atmosphere.
By the way, 300 hour and wisdom of the sages wisdom training. Yeah. If you were thinking about that fence, there's like literally 2 beds left.
Okay.
So if you were thinking about the 300 hour or the wisdom training, you better write to us today.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, but and this is a beautiful verse. Why don't you read it again? He's after the whole long story, he's getting right to the heart. This is, dear King, you're suffering. You're trying to make material adjustments in your life. You haven't found happiness. You've been going on like this lifetime after lifetime. What are you supposed to do? He's saying right here, hey, go find people that have caught on to the truth. Mm-hmm. Find people that have enthusiasm, not for the Donnie and Marie show or the Sonny and Cher show, who have
that type of enthusiasm.
Yeah, they found enthusiasm for hearing the glories of Sri Krishna. They found enthusiasm for hearing the Bhagavatam, hearing the narrations that have been handed down forever.
You know what? You've inspired me.
Okay.
Now I'm going to get this assistant of mine. I'm the nameless anonymous assistant. We're going to chant some shlokas after this.
There you go.
We are going to we are going to Vera Bajra's house for a Thanksgiving party.
And we're going to great, wonderful people there, right?
And we're going to chant some shlokas there. No, we're going to sit there and chant shlokas with them.
Nice.
And we're going to chant verses together.
Oh, it sounds beautiful.
What do you think about
that's- So this is what Narada is saying. He's saying, I've got the cure for the material disease, right? And that is you go to a place where the pure devotees live, where they're following the rules and regulations. They said, I want to elevate my consciousness. I understand that it means I'm going to have to make some changes. It's going to take some self-discipline, right?
Mhm.
Okay, we're all going to do that together. And we're going to focus on not only what's most important and what's most healthy, but what's most beautiful and satisfying. So they brought their minds to the pastimes of the Lord. They're chanting those together, and he's saying it's like he says, in that place, one gets a chance to hear their constant flow of nectar, which is exactly like the waves of a river.
Mm.
And then you forget, you begin now. You get a whole new perspective on life, and your lamentation, your fear, your illusion. Step by step, it begins to disappear. Now, in the purport, Prabhupada quotes a famous verse. You know this one, Raghunath? Satam prasangam mamavirya samvido
I don't know that.
bhavanti hritkarna rasayana kataha. It's the translation is, in the association of pure devotees, discussions of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and to the heart.
Mm-hmm.
By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation. And thereafter they are freed, and their attraction becomes fixed on Krishna now, right? Then real devotion and devotional service begins. That's
Wow.
our process, right? That's our process. And Prabhupada later in the commentary, he shares this secret of success.
Oh, this is good. Like success literature. Go ahead.
He says the secret of success in the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Here it all comes, Raghunath, right?
Okay, ready, everybody? This is it. This is basically
You want something to be
this
thankful
is the secrets of the universe right now.
This is it. Here's the whole secret of success.
Don't miss this. This is the entire show right here. What's the secret, Kastuba?
The secret of success in the cultivation of Krishna consciousness is hearing from the right person.
Now, how do I know you're the right person to even say that?
You got to hear from the right person.
Right, hearing from the right person.
Hearing from the
okay?
right person. Yeah, this
right.
is largely Shravanam, hearing. It's largely one of the top two, let's say, processes of transforming one's consciousness, right?
Okay.
Hearing from the right people, hearing the right messages from the right people, particularly when there's someone that really embodies the message that's found there in Bhagavatam, the beautiful teachings of Bhakti Yoga, the teachings that are all about letting go of your ego, letting go of your fear, letting go of your anxiety, letting go of your resentments, purifying yourself of all of this, which has just been kind of like dragging us down for countless lifetimes.
Isn't it interesting? It's like, if you don't hear this stuff, you have no sort of map how to put this together. Oftentimes people lead with their ego. Like, that's how I'll get people to like me. I want to pose myself as this, or I lead with my resentment. Like, yeah, when people cross me, then they're off my list. You know what I mean? That's their persona they created. And to the degree that we hear this, we realize like, oh, I was doing that too. Oh, I was doing this too. I was doing this too. We get a chance right now to recreate ourselves, unload that baggage. And there's something very, very beautiful underneath those layers of costumes, sir.
Yeah. You find those right people that are vibrating that message. They're practicing here, like the verse that we read. They're practicing this, right? It says here, following the rules and regulations. In other words, they've decided together we're gonna discipline ourselves, because any important goal is going to require self-discipline. So we're gonna we're gonna not engage our senses in our mind in those images and sounds, etc., that lead to our further entrapment, that lead to our further illusion, and again lead to those things like fear and resentment, etc., etc. We've decided as friends, right? We're a few friends that have gotten together. We decided we're not playing that game anymore. We're going to uplift ourselves now.
There you go.
And then they say, okay, we're going to focus on these texts have been existing for thousands of years, right? Carol Burnett's show, although I do like Carol Burnett, I think she's a very talented lady. But Sonny and Cher, Hee Haw, these
Hee
things.
Haw is not an ancient text.
Hee Haw will not endure, like Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thousands of generations, they won't be singing the glories of Hee
No,
Haw, Mara.
but literally thousands of years later, Bhagavatam is still read, still relished, still appreciated, still commented on, still practiced. It's so valuable. It's got real substance. And so as a community, let's try to focus on the substance, right? So you go into that kind of, you hear from the right person, someone who's embodying it. And when you find someone that really embodies it, there's like a heart-to-heart transfer, isn't there? Like where it's not just like, I might have heard the very same message from someone else and thought, oh, that's nice. But I heard it from this person that's living from it, and there's a heart-to-heart transfer that takes place that makes one say, I gotta be like that too.
Right.
It's powerful. So that's the secret of success.
Thank you for those secrets.
Well, it's Prabhupada share the secrets.
Well, I also want to give a thumbs up and a big hug and embrace to all the people in our
Shout
community that, have been, maybe there's a first Thanksgiving that they're sober, first Thanksgiving that they're vegetarian.
Could be.
That's huge. That's
It
huge. And I
is.
want to give you a good thumbs up, big hug and embrace. Good job on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we got to understand people are coming from all different walks of life.
I'm with you.
Right.
I guess
Right.
Thanksgiving is a
It's
is a
anchored in
threshold.
food.
It's a
anchored in-
threshold. Yeah.
well, to give up, it's hard.
It's a road mark.
I'm gonna extend some appreciation. It's hard to go home, and I remember my first time. It's hard to go home to a family that really endorses meat eating and saying, you know what, I'm not going to eat the main course. I'm just going to eat the condiments. You know what I mean? I'm just going to eat the can of cranberry sauce. Remember they used to get the can of cranberry, used to slice it like
Got the
jelly.
ridges in it.
Yes. And then I'm going to eat the side broccoli or the frozen peas.
People are like, well, how about the stuffing?
Can't eat that. Can't eat the gravy.
Can't get that away.
Can't eat that. What else? You're going through their whole meal. And I tell you, it causes like an upheaval in the family, and people start getting, even if you're trying to be kind, like, I'm just going to eat this, or even if you don't say anything, like you're not preaching to them, but it's hard because people get reason. Why won't you eat it? Why don't you want to eat our food? It feel like you're rejecting their love.
Right.
And so I think it's important to acknowledge the people. It's a very big day for some people to go home on Thanksgiving and make that statement, or do it privately, or make up some excuse. You could just make up an excuse too. I of course, when I went vegetarian, had to like get up on the chair and be like, I will not eat this. You know what
sinful.
I mean? And my big Italian family are like, we don't care. We don't care. But anyway, hats off.
Okay.
I tip my hat to you. I tip my hat.
Text 41, Rona.
Text 41. I tip my hat to you, Kastuba.
Right back at you, Rona.
Because the conditioned soul is always disturbed by bodily necessities, always, such as hunger, thirst. He has very little time to cultivate attachment to hearing the nectarian words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'm going to read that again.
All right.
Because the conditioned soul is always disturbed by the bodily
and right.
necessities, such as hunger and thirst, he has very little time to cultivate attachment to hearing the nectarian words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, because you're always disturbed by bodily necessities like hunger and thirst. That means you're always thinking about them. How many hours have been spent like, where are we going to eat? What are we going to do for food today? Where are we going to get to something to eat? You're just thinking about, even when you're not eating, you're thinking about eating.
Yeah.
So thirsty. Are you thirsty? I'm thirsty. I'm hungry. What do you want to eat? Mary, you know the deal. You're a chef. You're always thinking about food.
I am. It's true.
Mary's very silent
Spend a
today.
lot of time planning.
But yeah, I think, food is one of those ones, because it's like, the big pleasures, physical pleasures, like, there's sex, there's food, but like food is a lot more, like it's easily available. You know what I'm saying? It's less complicated in a sense, but we do, but because we do it so much, it actually does complicate our life,
So does sex. It complicates people's lives. They do it a lot. Sometimes people do it a lot.
Yeah, but like food is like you die if you don't do it like now. So
Right.
it's like,
Especially if you're on vacation, then it's all about food. It's like, let's go out and have some food. And then
Yeah.
we'll go home a little bit and go out for some food. It's just like food. You're just talking about food and different types of food. And they have good food here.
Whereas the sadhus, it's not so important to them, right? It's a beautiful part of the culture, actually, the whole cuisine. But the sadhus, as you get deeper and deeper and deeper into, you're not so caught up in it. You like to see people eat prasad. You're happy to see them be enthusiastic about it. But as for yourself, you can just take a little, right? Raghunath Das Goswami, right?
Yeah.
Give me just a few drops, that's all I need. And they take it, they feel satisfied, they feel nourished, because their happiness comes from within.
Happiness comes from within. Okay, continuing on. 42. The most powerful, Lord Brahma, the father of all progenitors, Lord Shiva, Manu, Daksha, and other rulers of humankind. The four saintly first-class brahmacharis headed by Shanaka and Sanatan, right, the four Kumars. The great sage Marichi, Atri, Angira.
How do you think the other two Kumars feel when they mention those two?
They probably feel slightly slighted. Like, what about us? We're not important?
I don't think they do. I think they're so elevated in the content. They're like, yes, say the names of Sanaka.
Say the names of our older brothers.
Don't even mention me, because they're so. I'm happy to hear them.
You know what? That's right. Good people are happy for other people. Just like I was noticing.
Because there's only four. If you're going to mention two, you may as well go ahead and mention four, you would think, right?
I know. You know what I was thinking yesterday when I was driving down? We drove through New Jersey, and there was all this traffic going the other way. And we were like moving fast. I was thinking, oh, those poor suckers. They're caught in traffic.
And I'm not.
I was like relishing that they were in traffic, but I wasn't. Isn't that horrible? I thought that's not good. I should. In other words, I should be sad for them.
It made you feel better for yourself that they were stuck.
Yeah, I don't want my pleasure from someone else's pain.
Right.
Okay.
So great souls like the.
So they're naming all these great souls headed by Lord Brahma.
Yeah.
Now they're going to name a few more: Angira, Pulatsya,
Marichi,
right?
Yeah, Marichi.
Pulaha, Kratu, Brigu. Vashista, are you echoing all mine with better?
I did it a couple times and I stopped.
He's echoing everything I say with a better Sanskrit pronunciation, Mary.
I hope it's better.
Is that inappropriate?
I stopped.
Or is it more?
I felt it was inappropriate.
I'm like Kratu. You're like Kratu. Brigu. Borgo.
Is Parigu.
And my humble self, Narada, are all stalwart brahmanas who can speak authoritatively on Vedic literature.
Okay, so let's stop for a second. He just listed a whole team.
The team, the varsity team
a team of like
Vedic heroes.
Like original Vedic heroes, right? These are like this is like OGs, like big time, right? These
the
are
starting varsity lineup.
They go way back.
Headed by the quarterback.
Okay, so let's see.
Quarterback Brahma.
Okay, yeah. And so he's saying, here's a whole list of like A-list sages. Yeah. Okay, and he's saying that all of us are stalwart brahmanas, right? We've got good habits, right?
Yeah.
We live, we live according to this code. Okay, to this noble, virtuous code, and we can speak authoritatively on Vedic literature. All right. So what's your point you're working towards? Let's hear.
Yeah. Okay.
More qualifications.
You speak. Okay. We are very powerful because of austerities, meditation, and education.
Okay. So still more qualifications. Yes.
They're all very qualified.
Okay. So is he just glorifying? Is he just self-glorification? What's he up to?
Nonetheless. Even after inquiring about the personality of Godhead, whom we always see, we do not know perfectly about him.
Okay. So he's saying that there is this, he just was glorifying the process of coming together with people that have this higher lifestyle and this higher focus. They're focused on hearing glories of Sri Krishna, right?
Yeah.
Go to them right? You want to find your eternal happiness. You want to uncover your true self. Go to those people. Spend time with them. Hear from them. Is the secret of success, right? Hearing from the right person. And I'll give you a whole list of people that are like austere, that are practicing meditation, that are very learned, that are self-controlled, that have been doing this for a long time. When it comes to those topics, it's unlimited. It's transcendental, those topics, right? It's not the most learned person can't come to the end of them. It's entirely spiritual. It's ananda or ananta. It's unlimited, right?
All right. Text 45.
Now what's going to happen, Raghunath? Now what's going to happen is he's going to go right. That was the positive side. Now he's going to start to cut. Now he's going to say, "Hey, we sat down here a few chapters ago, King, and you were turning to me to help give you some direction. Well, and I gave you a whole story,
a whole story, a whole analogy.
Yeah. But your problem, guy, is that you think happiness is found through material things. So even the Vedic teachings, which are teaching about how to manipulate the laws of karma so that you can enjoy the material world, is not going to deliver. And I'm going to pound that home right now. You want the moral of the story? You're on the wrong path, guy.
Right.
All right.
Hey, can I squirrel you something interesting here?
Yeah.
So I'm reading this book that Jamie Steptoe gave me about, what's it called, Mara? Birth Before Birth? I can't remember. Jamie Steptoe, put it on the board, please. But it's basically all these cases of
life before life.
Life before life. All these cases of children before the age of 4 or younger starting to really speak explicitly about their previous birth, like
details,
naming their villages, naming the people who worked in their village, naming their job, naming how they died.
There's no way they could have known.
There's no way. And then what I didn't realize, like in some of these Burmese families and Southeast Asian families, they understood the idea of reincarnation. It was already built into their belief system.
Sure.
So what they would do to their elderly grandmother or something would put a marking on their head, like they'd do some they'd mark their head with some type of I don't know, like some type of ritualistic paste or something like that. Mark their head, mark their forehead, mark their neck. And they would be able to identify the children when they took rebirth because they'd have a birthmark there.
Oh.
It's very interesting. What to speak of if they died?
You just buy into anything, Raghunath.
I'm buying into anything, man. This is like, these are studies by doctors.
Well, they were able to show that these kids were born again into the neighborhood or the family or something like that.
Well, that's how the traditions of the family would do it. But
where's the scientific proof that actually worked?
Scientific proof is that these kids are coming up and they're sharing all these things that they cannot actually know about. And they go back in the book.
And they were tagged.
And some were actually tagged because the culture believed in it and they tagged them, and then they share things about a village like 200 kilometers away where I used to live by the water. And my brother was this guy and he was a salesman of this. I mean, real uncanny stuff. Mm-hmm. But my point is that, anyway, I was making another interesting point, which was if a person died like due to like a spear or they got, shot or something like that, or
you get the spot on your body, and
you get the spot on your body in your next life. You somehow
birthmark right here when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I think someone got me right in the neck.
What? I should ask my mother about my father if he had any birthmarks, because the whole thing was my son is my father. Remember that?
Your son was your father in a
previous Rocco, they said, was my father, the mystic told me.
Mm-hmm.
I should see if Rocco's got any matching birthmarks of my father.
No, because that father was alive when you were alive. It would have to be a father further back.
Oh, no. But not when Rocco was alive.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Rocco could be your actual father in this life.
Well, yeah, my father. That's what the mystic said. He's your father.
Get out.
I'm going to check out if he's got any birthmarks.
Well, did your father have certain marks?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. You can ask your mother.
I'm going to ask my mom. Yeah. By the way, Gopal Krishna.
She's going to think you're pretty weird for asking that question.
Did Dad have any birthmarks on his body.
Oh, so then that's why Rocco, when he said that, does that mean I was married to grandma? Like, that was
yeah,
for real.
because he was married to my mom.
Oh man, it's
Maybe.
getting weirder, Rocco.
It's getting weird. All right.
Is there a special connection between Rocco and your mother? Like, something?
I don't know.
You haven't noticed anything?
I mean, nothing like romantic.
I think we got to get back into the Bhagavatam era.
Okay.
Why do we go here?
By the way, all this stuff is getting put on the message board right now. If you want to see this, people. See, that's why you got to join Wisdom of the Sages Live. Access to this valuable information.
Okay.
Okay.
So he just said, even we can't get to the end of this, no matter how learned, austere, holy, whatever.
That is the mystery of Bhakti, is you can be incredible in Vedic studies, but you still can't necessarily understand the Lord face to face unless you have this pure Bhakti. And even then, the Lord is unlimited. We'll never fully be able to understand him.
Okay.
Okay.
Text 45.
Despite the cultivation of Vedic knowledge, which is unlimited, and the worship of different demigods by the symptoms of Vedic mantras, demigod worship does not help one to understand the supreme, powerful personality of Godhead.
Okay. He's saying generally people worship the devas to manipulate the laws of karma, right?
Well, if you're coming from America, you're like, what? But the fact is, this is a huge part of Vedic rituals, especially when people get into yoga and they're like, well, I want to take this deeper. I want to go to India. And they run across some sadhu, some ashram, etc., where they're worshiping all the demigods. I heard this guy chant to this demigod. I heard this lady chant to this demigod. I want to start worshiping these demigods. They don't understand, like in Vaishnav culture, that's not where we're going with pure devotional service. That worship of the demigods is to access better karma. You know what we think about good karma? Who cares? Who cares about good karma? It's all temporary. That's where we're actually at. Unless you've got some, I don't know. I'm gonna start glorifying worshiping the demigods right now. But
unless you have like a toothache, then worship the demigod. Unless you need some money, then worship the demigod.
Unless you're like down on your luck and you need some money, then worship the demigods. No. The demigods are useful, but not in the biggest picture of things.
We honor them.
We honor them
in.
Oh my God!
What?
This reminds me of my dream from last night.
Oh, that's weird.
I had a dream last night that someone really came. Who was it? Maybe I'll think even deeper. First of all, I had this incredible dream. I was at the Ganga on pilgrimage. It's the third Ganga dream I've had. It's almost like in a different film. Like I was at the Ganga and I was like in so much bliss at the Ganga.
Where?
And then I had a dream. Then I was doing my.
Where were you at the Ganga?
It was some mysterious place. I don't know. No, it wasn't any place you know of.
Okay.
Which means there's.
Are you sure it was the Ganga?
I'm positive.
How do you know?
I'm positive. Just because I know. I was like. But anyway, my point was I was worshiping my deities, and some devotee came up to me and said, "Why are you worshiping?" He was trying to chastise me for worshiping Lord Shiva.
I
also worship Shiva. I worship Shiva. And then they were saying, you should not worship Shiva. You shouldn't worship the demigods. I was like, Lord Shiva is a pure devotee. I was defending Lord Shiva in my dream. Lord Shiva is a pure devotee of Lord Vishnu. And if you want to enter the rasa dance, you must worship Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the guard of the rasa dance. Whoa. And if you want to develop sweet love of Krishna, first you've got to go, Lord Shiva, get on your knees and humbly beg entrance into connection with Krishna.
Did they accept that?
Amazing. I just thought of that.
Did they accept
that? Was my dream. Huh?
Did they accept that explanation?
They did. I backed it up with stories about Gopeshwar Mahadev.
Okay, so anyway, we'll revisit this topic tomorrow.
Okay.
Because we're running out of time. We're on at 8:00 tomorrow, right, Mara?
Yep. It's our Black Friday class. We're going to talk about consumption, the joys of consumption, and the stomachache that comes afterwards.
Okay. Mara,
is that it? Is that it?
That's it. Yeah. We're done.
Oh man,
we're over time.
All right, I got some good stuff today.
Okay.
We're upcycling family to be functional.
We're upcycling. We want a new family.
Appreciate people and spread gratitude.
Spread it.
Appreciate people. You know what's interesting? It's like all the families that we worship, that we romanticize on TV, the Brady Bunch. Right? That was like the classic American family. They all were completely dysfunctional in real life.
Oh, that's sad.
You know
man.
that, right?
I heard some things.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's
we're
okay.
upcycling it. Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Change your expectations to appreciation.
Trade in your expectations for appreciations. Today is Appreciation Day.
Zoom out and be thankful.
Zoom out. They're not your kids. Let them go.
Choose
Let
serving.
the kids run
Let
free.
those kids run. Just keep running. Run away from
Oh,
home. Never
God.
come back.
Choose serving the devotees over serving the senses.
Nice. We're gonna
Yeah.
do that. We're gonna do that in the eco village. We can train people up to do it too, right?
Train
Get a whole system
train
going.
them.
It's a life changer.
Yeah.
We should get the notes from Bhakti Latan. Do it right, you know. He's
Yeah.
teaching. Okay.
The secret of success is hearing from the right people.
The secret.
Secret sauce.
The power of focus. The secret.
Share your bhakti through a heart-to-heart transfer.
Receive Bhakti. through
Yeah.
heart-to-heart
Rub you.
transfer.
Come here, Costu. I'm gonna put my heart right on top of your heart.
No,
And
it's kind of like a Bluetooth thing. It doesn't have to
Wasn't there a thing where you could put your iPhones next to each other and
bump.
yeah.
There was some.
it was a
app
bump?
called
It does.
Bump.
They don't do that anymore, do they?
I think you
No.
have to anymore.
That was like in the
'cause
very.
I think Apple
beginning. There
caught
were
up with
no
it.
apps. Do you remember that? There was no apps. There was like the koi fish app I had. It was like, whoa, look, there's koi fish.
Okay, I
Ah.
don't know anything about And
And Hee Haw will not endure.
there you go.
Oh,
Hee Haw will not
it won't.
endure.
It will not endure. Okay. Well, all right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and giving your special moment here on Thanksgiving.
Thank
I
you,
know
everybody.
have thousands of things to do today, and we're glad and honored. I'm feeling thankful that you're part of our new family.
I'm very thankful to you, Raghunath. I want to express my gratitude for all that you
Um,
do.
Mara, Kostuba, very thankful for you.
Mara, I'm
All-
also very, very thankful to you.
Mara's just like uploading stuff, downloading stuff, cutting, pasting things. You're
Mhm.
often overlooked, Mara. And we want to say
She brought me that book back.
she brings you things. brings
Steal
special
Raghu's gifts and re-gift them to Kastuba.
Yeah, you brought me that Mahaprasad
Yeah, that's true.
from Jagannath Mandir.
Yes,
You make lemon meringue pies for the devotees.
she does. She does a lot of
She-
service.
She makes the best vegan sushi in Columbia County.
Yeah. Once you step 1 foot out of the Columbia County, though, there's thousands of vegan sushi.
So much
guys.
competition.
So much better.
So
Just
much
kidding.
better.
Just kidding.
You know, she's got to lock down her area. That's all.
She's got a
Our
lot.
territory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm very, very grateful for you guys in my life. Thank you
So-
for being
Thank
who
you.
you
So
are.
you got a big day. Say, Raghunath, this is what I want you to do. Last time I asked you to do me a favor, you kind of did it. This time I want you to do it for real.
Tell me.
When you go over to Veera Budger's place, I want you to go around to Veera and his family members, to Jai Giridhari, to Shama, to Dhyana. I want you to share my love with them. To Mulika, I want you to say Kasuba sends his love on this day, and he gives.
I will
and
do
he-
that.
and
What
he
about their
thanks
little
you.
children, their little toddlers?
I
Should
mean, they
go
don't
up to
know
them?
me so well, but you can do it to them too. Yeah.
Hi, I'm the weird guy.
And
Another
some that you
weird
don't
guy
know.
sends their love. Give me a hug.
Okay.
Give me a
You're
hug.
creepy now, right?